For a big part of my life, I've been trying to understand leftist political philosophy, which is to say, what makes these people tick, what motivates these people, what fuels their animus, their vituperative hatred of people who don't share their political philosophy, and to put it in perspective. I mean, leftists hate people viscerally because they don't share their political philosophy. People they don't know, people they just identify as people being on the other side of their political consciousness. And speaking for myself, my animus towards people in these philosophical and political matters is like almost entirely a reflection of the fact that I know they have a vituperative hatred for me for I regard as no reason at all. I just hate them back. And of course, for me, it's quite a mystery as to how people can generate this sort of level of malevolence towards people for purely sort of abstract philosophical reasons, as I see them. And when I look out on the world, I don't hate Catholics or Methodists because they have got what I would regard as the wrong take on Christianity. I don't even hate Mormons or Scientologists. I don't hate these people, wrong-headed though they may be. But there's really grinding, visceral hatred that leftists feel for lots and lots of people that they describe as right-wing conservatives or some other racists or some other pejorative term. And the interesting thing to me, in very recent times, I have discovered that I possess visceral hatred for, I think it's exactly 21 people in the world for philosophical, political reasons. I mean, you really like visceral. These are people who I really do think are like the scum of the earth. And these people are the 21 Tory rebels who are stopping Brexit, standing in the way of Boris Johnson's plan for Brexit. And I find myself loathing these people in a way which I can only compare with the way I see leftists hating people for fairly abstract reasons. Now, I mean, I don't know, I can't even name these 21 people. I don't even know who they are. I just know that there are 21 Tory rebels who are stopping Brexit. And I am viewing these people as the scum of the earth, as disgustingly self-possessed, arrogant, elitist, just total slime balls. That's how I view them, And of course, it's very interesting to me that now I find myself in that position vis-a-vis a group of people with exactly the same feelings of animus that leftists instinctively feel about a vastly greater number of people. I've related in the past the extraordinary degree of hatred expressed by left-wingers towards people like Tony Abbott, described as a C, Andrew Bolt, described as the S-word, to say nothing of Donald Trump and these days Boris Johnson. I've heard Boris Johnson and anybody who expresses any liking for this man in the most abusive terminology. And this is people, especially in the case of Boris Johnson, who has just come on the scene. People in Australia, a lot of people may not even have known much about him, but they know that he's a conservative, tainted with the brush of being a right-winger and shock horror supporter of Brexit. They barely know this person, even politically, they barely know this person. And yet they have this degree of malevolence that is just unfathomable. And people that I would agree with on most things. Might have the odd difference with any of these people on a few different issues, but whose view of the world I find entirely reasonable. And yet people can find it within themselves to dehumanize these people. I mean, to just render them as totally devoid of humanity. So the answer to this mystery is essentially that you're going to hate somebody who stands in opposition to something you see as unarguably true and pure and benevolent to the human race, and somebody inexplicably does not empathize with your empathy and sympathy for the human race. And you see that as inexplicably, unconscionably malevolent to your fellow human beings. And so the upshot of this is that I think that I can now understand a little bit better, because I think this is a very important question. It's a very important question for conservatives and anybody who looks with just utter incomprehension about the certainties and sureties of leftists with their triumphalist political worldview, which brooks no objection, and how they can viscerally hate people they don't even know, who they just know, oh, well, I know that he votes Liberal or something like that, I mean, or he voted for Brexit, or he wants to slash immigration. I mean, why would you really hate somebody for that? So in conclusion, this video has explored how we can get to the point of writing off a segment of the human race. So I find myself looking upon these 21 Tories, ironically, in a way that is not dissimilar to the way socialists would have looked at the Tories back in the 1920s, because it isn't just what they think or say, but from their position of high social status, dictating to the hoi polloi how they should live their lives, because they just embody within themselves this superior place in the scheme of things. Yes, this is real identity politics, and the left has perversely become the modern aristocracy. The whole thing is that the left becomes what they accuse other people of being, which in turn generates the same feelings of revulsion against them as they baselessly feel towards other people. They're projecting their own evil on other people and are being shown up for what they really are. People aren't smart enough to solve the fundamental problems of human society in their clumsy, wrong-headed quest to perfect the human race. They generally wind up acting like the people whose behaviour they're trying to reform. Just think of communism, which was supposed to be perfect democracy for the human race, but of course they had to institute a dictatorship of the proletariat just for a short time to sort everybody out, and then we would have perfect democracy, just like the perfect democracy we had in Russia for some 70 plus years under the Bolsheviks. Yeah. So the Tories have become socialists, and the socialists have become the new Tories.